Our local taxpayers and tax dollars meant to support our kids in schools across Chautauqua, Cattaraugus, and Allegheny counties are instead going to house illegal immigrants thanks to a crisis that the Biden administration created, allowing fentanyl to flood in from our southern border, killing thousands of Americans and offering no concrete solutions to combat this epidemic is not compassionate.
This bill that you're bringing here does nothing to solve the problem. It is a waste of time. No more resources, nothing to combat it. It's just a press release. What a joke that we're here debating something like this when we could be debating something that might make a real difference. I mean, I just don't get it. I mean, people come onto this floor and, and speak in sound bites and do press releases and then bring legislation to the floor that's non-binding, that means nothing, that does nothing. I mean, this is ridiculous. Mr. Speaker, I appreciate the gentleman's tirade just now, but the bottom line is that nothing in this bill that his party is championing as somehow this important piece of legislation does anything to provide any assistance to any of his communities. Not one penny goes to help offset any of the costs that might be incurred. Nothing, not a thing. I also want to point out that my Republican colleagues have been in disarray since they took the majority, and they have failed to pass meaningful legislation into law on behalf of the American people. As I said, they control this chamber, they control the schedule, they control the committees, they control what they bring to the floor. At this point in the 117th Congress, that is the previous Congress, we Democrats had passed 17 bills into law. And at this point in the 116th Congress, under divided government, we passed 21 bills into law. You want to know how many this majority has passed into law? 6. I mean, they are failing the American people. They are incapable of bringing legislation to the floor that can garner bipartisan support, that has any chance in the Senate. And since 2010, when the bill became law, Republicans have been obsessed. I mean, this is obsessed with tearing it apart. Under Republican under your majorities, under Republican majorities, we've voted nearly 70 times, 70 times, to repeal and undermine the law. Nearly 70 times Republicans have tried to dismantle a law that provides health care coverage to 20 million people and covers preventative health services. And today, Republicans are continuing this effort to undermine the ACA. It is maddening where their priorities are. It is maddening. And here's the deal. They know that they can't just repeal it outright because everybody doesn't want them to do that. So what they're doing is they're going after it bit by bit by bit, trying to chip away at the edges and trying to kill it through 1,000 cuts so that maybe people won't notice. People won't notice when essential benefits are no longer guaranteed. I mean, health care ought to be a right in this country, and we ought to be building on the ACA, not tearing it apart, not tearing it down, not trying to make it more difficult for people to get the essential services they need. Not to try to give people plans that don't provide the coverage for whatever may occur to them and their families.